Hello, this is the Retrospection of Tomorrow, a game about college life. Before the game begins, what is this? What is your first name? Faye, I guess. What now? What is your last name? Faye, Daniel. Faye Daniel. That's my name. Your full name is Faye Daniel, is that correct? Correct. The winter of CO12. That year I was probably around 13 years old while Hendrix was 14. Andrew Green, Hendrix's father, walked ahead of us, rifle raised, his boots crunching in the snow. This was the Green family's private forest. Mr. Green put a finger to his lips, then carefully leaned down, aiming his hunting rifle at the corner of the woods. I held my breath, focusing intently where his gun was pointed. A massive snowball suddenly struck me squarely in the cheek. Hey, why are you acting so upset while hunting? You might even spot a deer today. Keep quiet, kids, especially you, Henry. In the bushes not far away, a gray hare's ears poked out. When you encounter prey, you must observe them calmly, but don't just get excited and start shouting or chase after it. They'll scare it off. And when you grip the trigger, remember to take a deep breath. Keep your center of gravity low, stay calm, take aim. With the sound of a gunshot, the hare fell to the ground. What? Really, a bullet for a rabbit? Just a rabbit? That's it? Why use a bullet for a rabbit? That seems like a waste of bullet. It's a damn rabbit, man. Just snap its neck. That is easy. Did you hit it? You hit it? The hare's hind legs twitched a few times after being shot, then stiffened. Haha, I told you this winter was perfect for hunting. You caught a good time. Henry, it's your turn to shoot. Oh? Why don't you hold the bullets for me now? The black pouch is pulled open, revealing the golden cylindrical bullets inside. Through the pale daylight, the golden casings glimmered with an eerie luster, just like distant memories. Even the bullets, effortlessly coming to life in the cold winter air, shimmered with an incomparable, beautiful luster in this moment. And this was the daylight we experienced during the winter of CO12. The bullets refracting light shone straight into my eyes. Act 1. Prologue, The Time Travelers. That time the sunlight was also blindingly bright. The rays, having traveled billions of light years, still shone so brilliantly when they reached my eyes that I could barely keep them open. Anyway, the envelope contains the ticket and instructions for this event. Don't forget to bring them when you come today. I hear someone's voice coming from my phone. Is anyone home? Are you listening? The school's paper has been extensively covering the seminar lately. It would be such a shame if you couldn't make it. But don't push yourself if you're not feeling well today. My name is Faye. Simply put, I'm a college student nearing graduation. At some point this year, I got caught up in a situation that defies common sense. However, as for what exactly happened before all this happened, I still have no clue, even now. So anyways, my life probably stalled at some point before graduation. Do you remember the envelope I gave you earlier? You should have the event details inside. Maybe I should skim through the manual Noah gave me first. Activity handbook has been added to the notebook. Okay, what do I do with this? Activity Handbook. The manual provides a brief overview of the research topic on time travel. However, despite being an activity guide, it contains very little useful information, and I just right-click by accident. Sorry guys. During the game, you can check the notebook and profile by clicking the book in the bottom right corner. Notebook? This one, okay. Noah, a senior physics student who understands almost all kinds of science theories. Although he's my senior, he seems to be a little younger than me and has a cute baby face. He also serves as the president of the university's student council outside of class. He's very popular on campus, such a workaholic. Okay. Sounds like you have a crush on him, bro. Okay. Alright. Looking around, while this area looks like my college campus, many details are subtly different. Good morning, Faye. The girl standing here is Lisa, my best friend. As a reporter for the school newspaper, she would never miss an event like this. What are you saying? The event is secondary. I'm here because of you. Once we're inside, you'll have to accompany me to get a coffee first. I feel like I could fall asleep at any moment. I don't think coffee solves your ability to stay awake, you know, and not at that instant at least. Gotta wait for the thing to digest, you know? Hey, if you don't believe in time travel at all, why did you bother coming to this event? Besides, isn't time travel just like putting a person in a box, setting the time and pressing a button? Poof! Then you open the box again, and the person goes back in time, leaving the box empty. But that doesn't prove where the person went, does it? True. But hey, did you know? The singularity. At the singularity, anything is possible. When we reach the singularity, all physical laws cease to apply, you see. Okay. What year is it? Why is time traveling even a topic at all? At first, I wanted to look up some simple theories about time travel, but every time I come across a word I didn't understand, I had to look up its explanation. But that word was explained using another word I didn't understand at all. So it just kept going around and around in a loop. My head was about to turn into mush. Anyway, in the end, I only remembered the word singularity. My point is, if it's not possible to time travel or connect different time and space, wouldn't it be better to put them in a anything is possible situation? But Faye, why would all the laws of physics fail at the singularity? Singularity, it seems that I once heard Noah mention this concept. I guess because the singularity itself is defined as infinite curvature in space and time or something. As for what curvature means, I'm not really sure. It's not just physical laws that would fail, but in fact other laws of the universe might fail as well. Hey, what do you want? Coffee? Hello, can we have 2 coffees, please? Well, let's ignore the singularity stuff for now. Lisa, I think you've been wrong about this the whole time. Huh? Look at this. The time travel theory took years to research and nothing has been publicized. Then how can they be sure of success? Well, it is quite different from the usual time travel hypotheses. There seems to be a rumor that this is memory travel rather than real time travel. Details for our activity handbook has been updated. Activity handbook? You mean this? Right, what's this? Anyway, I feel like this is just nonsense. Yeah, me too. Screw this notebook. By the way, if this seminar is successful today, our school's research funding will probably receive another boost. Though it's likely that it will be allocated to the Department of Brain and Neurology. Department of Brain and Neurology? Why not just call it Department of Biology? Simple. And it covers all it is. Covers everything about the human body. Just call it Department of Biology. Oh, I'm disappointed. I was expecting something like a magic show. Walking deeper into the venue, I took the elevator to the seminar room on the 4th floor. Woohoo! It's so cool here. So what you're saying is, if humans had invented time machines throughout history, we would have already known that they work for a long time? What actually happened is everything. As for things that can't be observed, well, they are just hypotheses. Come to think of it, working so hard on research without knowing if your theory will succeed is really tough. Sipping the coffee. Iced coffee really is the best. Lisa drank her fifth cup of coffee while turning the manual to the last page. Fifth cup? Bruh, she gonna get a heart attack, bro. She's gonna get a heart attack before we even know what this time travel is, man. Here are those people who are desperately researching hypotheses. Don't you think they're quite interesting? Think about it. If a person has been working hard on a direction that could be completely wrong, either they're just desperate to prove the theory, or maybe they're actually quite smart and they know the theory will work. The elevator reached the 5th floor and stopped. The door slowly opened, and as I stepped out, I collided with someone. It's really strange. Why didn't I notice the person coming the moment the door opened? That's because you lack sleep, man. Lack of sleep can affect your awareness. Yes. I felt a wave of nausea hit my entire body, which suddenly made me want to vomit. Be careful, Faye. When I opened my eyes again, it was someone holding me up. I'm fine, Lisa. I just bumped into you. Are you okay? However, before I could see the person in front of me clearly, I noticed what I grabbed first. It was the collar of the coat the other person was wearing, a piece of snow-white fabric. I could even smell the dry odor of disinfectant common in labs on his body. Look, it's Professor, I think. In front of me is a man. Sorry. His voice sounded a bit distracted, but there was also a sense of familiarity. I gotta ask though. I gotta ask this. Is that a man or a woman? I can't tell. Like, this art style is making me confused. On the gender. Gender confused, man. He looked so tired. When I came back to my senses, I realized I had been tightly gripping his shoulder. Oh, his. Okay, it's a man. It's a man, okay? Mystery solved. Sorry, I didn't notice you just now. Huh? Is there anything I can help you with? Am I dreaming? Hey, do you know each other? What? Hey! The strange man suddenly turned and hurried off towards the stairs. What? What the? That's so rude. He didn't even apologize. Didn't he apologize? Whatever. I thought I recalled him apologizing. I thought you knew each other for a second, seeing as you were practically gazing into each other's eyes. That's because he's hot, man. He's hot. He's just hot, that's all. Don't be jealous. Maybe he doesn't like physical contact. Just then the disease spell faded. I'll have to have a word with this guy when I see him again. Okay. Lisa and I walked through the corridor, passing the place where the man had just left. The staircase led to the lower level, and it was dark inside, as if it were some black hole that swallowed everything. Why are you just standing there? Lisa turned back in the corridor and asked. It's fine, let's just go. The center of the black hole is the singularity. According to the theory of relativity, it looks like the object slows down as it gets closer to the black hole and never actually falls in. It just seems to stop at the edge. Of course, despite falling into the black hole, that object will never be able to reach the center of the black hole. When I reached the entrance, I saw Noah surrounded by many people. Well, Noah, seeing as that's what your name tag says, can I call you that? Of course you can. Is there something you don't quite understand? In the last tutorial, you mentioned that the singularity is the starting point of everything. Where exactly did such a theory come from? Before the Big Bang, the universe existed as a singularity. For example, okay, science crap, I don't care. I don't care, man. So theoretically, the singularity marks the beginning of everything. This moment, it feels like a perfect picture for the school newspaper. And with Noah's face in the middle, people will go crazy for it. Huh, you wonder why I majored in physics? Physics or math, they're not just hobbies for me. They help me explore how the world works. You could say these things are my life. Your life? Because it's the only way. While working on these formulas, I can. Huh? Hey! Soon Noah ended up answering a few students' questions and ran towards me. You came earlier than I thought. It's almost time. Let's go to the seminar hall. Why can't I remember what happened before this seminar? But if it's a memory that I can't recall, that means it's not that important, right? Noah looks happy today. In such a public place, it should have been a delightful thing to walk side by side alone with the school's golden boy. However, there is no love between us. Fall CO17, freshman orientation. Welcome, welcome, class of 17. Whew, how nostalgic. Hey, wasn't this the same lawn where we talked about the outage building during our spring trip? There were red, yellow, and blue paint buckets on the ground. Many students dipped their hands in the paint and left handprints on their work uniforms, while others used brushes to splash or paint with the colors. Faye, do you know how to get those name tag pins? It looks like the only student council members have them. You could join the council if you really want one. Oh, do I really look that nice? Hendrix, you seem distracted since earlier. Huh? I'm not. It's probably just that there are too many people here, so I'm a bit uncomfortable. And honestly, I'm not even a freshman anymore. I probably shouldn't have come here. Well, you were at school the whole summer after all. If this keeps going... Ah! What? I didn't even read that. If this keeps going, Miss Faye will belong to me. Ah! While Edmund was distracted, I flicked a splash of red paint onto his clothes with my other hand. Hey, you ambushed me. But just splattering paint feels a bit wasteful. I think maybe I should add some color to that gloomy expression of yours, Hendrix. Huh? Come on, remember to dodge. Edmund, stop fooling around. You can't waste the work uniform I got specially for you, right? Let's go. Wow. Gee, where did that person suddenly come from? Sneak attack failed. Damn it, damn it. You almost got paint on her. Hurry up and apologize, Edmund. My thoughts were quickly interrupted. A stranger stood in front of us. Good thing it didn't hit me, otherwise these clothes would have been ruined. The paint doesn't come off easily. The student looked us over and their gaze finally rested on me. Oh ho ho ho, so this is the type that Noah likes. I'm from the student council's activity department. You must be freshmen this year. Come on, let's get acquainted. The female student immediately stepped aside, revealing a very quiet boy standing behind her whom I hadn't noticed before. The female student blinked and gently nudged him forward. He looks so young. Is he a high school student? A high school student in college? What? Nah, I refuse to believe. Hello, sorry, Anyway, I'm Noah, a student council member, and very likely the next student council president. Please don't say anything anymore. Then he swallowed, his chest rising and failing at a noticeable pace. It seemed like he was trying hard to control his breathing or heartbeat. My gaze met his violet eyes. Under the sunlight, they were utterly captivating. Then he extended his hand. My name is Noah Huxley, a member of the student council. Anyway, just call me Noah. Noah? It's a pleasure to meet you, Faye. Noah, is it? Yes. That was the first time Noah and I met. And as for our current relationship, a year or so ago I fell into the school's lake by accident, and he was brave enough to save me. After that incident, we both caught a cold and that brought us closer. It looks like it'll be a while before the event officially starts. I should find something to do until then. What's this? Book? Chat? Okay, chat. What to chat with Noah? Today's seminar. I didn't expect the crowd would be so enthusiastic today. It's strange that there are so many new faces. If I have the chance, I'd likely try some real time travel. But it's quite risky. Even though people don't have to endure the danger of time travel physically, it doesn't feel like the danger is any less when it's done through the human brain. Well, it was only just recently unveiled. It takes time for people to accept it. And once this happens, there is no turning back. And if there is an accident, it'll be quite serious. Have you actually had any accidents in the lab? Our lab? Of course not. We're just ducklings doing experiments with the professor. Designing and demonstrating theories from scratch, I can't even comprehend it. Speaking of which, you do know about the accident at our school, right? The power outage over a decade ago. The power outage topic has been added. What? You mean added in my notebook? Is that it? I don't see it. I do not see it. Who's this? A mysterious man. Okay. Lisa is my best friend. She's currently working at school newspaper as a reporter. As long as I can remember, she's always been prone to appearing out of nowhere. In addition, she works at various places after school, supposedly to collect all kinds of interesting campus gossip. And who the hell cares? Who the hell give a shit about the rumor? Clearly a lot of people, but not me. Not me. I don't care. I don't care. What the hell? Oh, so I can only chat with Noah. Noah then. Noah. Huh, you've put the name tag on your shirt today. Well, when you're doing student council work, it's mandatory. Otherwise, every time you meet someone new, you need to take the time to introduce yourself, and that's really not efficient. Noah was a student at the same university as me. However, while I was about to graduate, he stayed in school because he was going to grad school to conduct a complicated research project. He's about a year or so younger than me, but he enrolled in school surprisingly early. So in essence, he's my senior. But he also has a cute baby face. What should I call him? Noah President Huxley? Noah, I guess. I remember calling him Huxley for a while when we first met. The power outage. A few years ago, people still spoke about this as an urban legend when introducing our university. One night, the power was cut off to the entire school district, but then it suddenly came back on by itself. And it was said that the weather was turbulent, so people just thought of it as a normal power cut. But after that, a group of curious kids went on a nighttime adventure there. As a result, there was a rumor that you can meet spectral ghosts in that building due to the magnetic field of the energy. Later, a lot of students wanted to check it out because of the rumor. It caused a lot of trouble for the school. But if you ask me, I think the power outage might have been caused by some secret physics experiment. Imagine using the entire school's power grid. That doesn't seem like the kind of thing you'd expect from an ordinary lab assignment. The great outage has been added to the notebook. Okay. Looks like there's nothing else to chat. Okay. The Great Outage. A major power outage occurred over a decade ago, reportedly cutting off electricity in the entire region. Later, rumors circulated about seeing ghosts due to a special magnetic field. However, this building should be abandoned by now, which means we should never go near that building. Never a good idea. Noah, what's the book you're reading? I've been trying to improve my chess skills lately. I borrowed it from the library. Chess fundamentals? I don't think you can learn. I don't think chess is a game you can learn just by reading. You have to actively play, bro. It's quite thick for fundamentals. I always choose the thickest book with the most words when I'm picking one to read. Ha ha! You nerd! Bookworm! After all, it's more cost effective, right? Do you guys not have phones? Like, you do realize the internet exists, right? Just read that, right? But shouldn't the logic of cost effective only be used when buying books? Buying a book? Oh, look, it's the professor. Wait, it's the strange man? Faye? Before Noah could turn around to see the person coming from behind, I had already left pursuing him. He looks like a ghost. How come he's moving as fast as a ghost? Because he caused the power outage. I'm saying it right now. He's the one behind the power outage, I think. The strange man disappeared into the crowd at the entrance of the lecture hall in no time. Ugh, why did you suddenly run so fast? I just saw someone suspicious. Maybe I was mistaken. But then again, isn't your physical condition a bit too poor? If we arm wrestled, Noah would probably lose. Really? What? Come on, man. Come on, Noah. You need to eat more. You need to hit the gym, man. Losing an arm wrestle to a woman? Bruh. Just let me be. However, just when my mood was in disarray, the seminar seems to have arrived inopportunely. Okay. How was the interview earlier? Phew, I'm glad I managed to take quite a few pictures before it started. But I really didn't expect there to be so many students I didn't recognize today. If I didn't know this was a school event, I would have thought many of these people must be from other schools. Noah and Lisa are both active figures on campus. As for me, it seems even as graduation approaches, I still only know a few people. Hey, isn't that? The black-haired man stood by the side of the podium. Hello. And at that very moment, he looked as if sensing us telepathically. Facing that gaze again, just like at the elevator earlier, it felt as if the dim light and distance between us didn't exist. It was an intensely burning stare. However, the moment after our eyes met, his gaze suddenly shifted. Was he looking at Noah? Oh, he gay? Don't be gay, man. The lights dimmed completely. Then the man walked toward the back of the stage. Now let's welcome our distinguished professor, Professor Leon. Please give him a warm round of applause. All the lights were focused on the man as he slowly walked onto the stage. For a moment, it didn't even feel like we were in the same room or even the same space. It felt more like I was somewhere else watching his movements through the projection of a glass lens. Thank you all for being here today. Okay, so my name is Leon. What I want to introduce today is the theory of time travel related to the field I study. Sitting in the dark audience, recalling Leon's gaze from earlier, I exhaled heavily and suddenly felt relieved to be hidden among the crowd. As for the prototype of the machine I will showcase later, the main inspiration came from the research of a late friend of mine. When did our school's auditorium get such a large screen? In French, déjà vu means hallucinatory memory. Hallucinatory memory. Simply put, it's when someone, while fully conscious, believes they are experiencing a situation for the first time, but also simultaneously feels like they've experienced it before. This phenomenon occurs because the way our brain stores memories is not linear. For example, when you think of an apple, memories of the apple will be interspersed across different time periods. You'll recall the first time you ate an apple, purchased an apple souvenir at a specific place, or you went to an orchard. Sometimes even the act of eating an apple with someone can cause seeing an apple to trigger memories of that person. It may sound illogical, but this is how the memory fragments of the deep brain are linked. If we use the current memory reading tools to explore human memories, such connections would become even more apparent. So in a sense, the existence of our consciousness, blah, 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 I don't give a shit, man. Goddamn science crap. If we can generate the right electrical signals to allow the brain to organize information by time, it might be possible to send current memories back to the past. Leon's profile has been updated. Now let me give a simple scenario. Okay, if I pull out a card now, the tower of cards will inevitably fall. From the perspective of time travel, I could make some kind of travel back to when the card tower was still intact. Then, except for the various paradoxes and problems the law of conservation of mass might cause, there would be two versions of me at that moment. one in the present and one from the future. Perhaps my future self would have to strenuously convince my past self to not remove that card, or he could use other methods. For instance, suppose he got into an argument with his past self and killed him, then a paradox would be triggered. And paradoxes are the most mysterious and dangerous aspect of time travel. Until now, we don't know if paradoxes can logically exist in this world. However, if one were to travel only mentally, there would always be one self existing in the world. Okay. And you have lost me. I stopped listening at all from that on. In my current lifetime, I've experimented with this invention on myself countless times. So he's talking about the type of guy whose mental age is older than his physical age. Professor Leon, what prompted you to conduct your first travel experiment? When I made my first travel, it was because my best friend handed this machine over to me before they died. And after that, my life became a folded existence. From the perspective of anyone who doesn't travel through time, everyone's life is linear. Because there is always time flowing forward, recording all memories and history. But for the time traveler, the world radiates outward and is filled with infinite possibilities. Because even if things don't go as smoothly as imagined, we can do it over and over again, and thus obtain a new branch. In fact, the direction of the story becomes largely irrelevant most of the time, because when we take the first step on the journey, the world's structure and the meaning of time have already completely changed. Thus, the complete change means there is no more true reality. But this theory was still something that could only be trusted in others, but could not be truly proven. Glancing over, Noah also frowned. His tone was still gentle, but his expression grew increasingly stern. There was a strange fervor in his eyes. Alright, let me elaborate in more detail and demonstrate as well. Suppose I meet a man, then I pull out a gun and kill him. What if my future self travels back into this body and makes a different choice, so I don't kill that person? In my self-consciousness, that murderous past is still imprinted in my memory. Under external observation, I am simply an innocent man who has never fired a gun. In this situation, how should the world judge me? Should I bear the crime of murder? Everyone expected that he would pull out a small shiny device and embark on an unverifiable time travel journey. Instead, he pulled out a blackened gun from his pocket and nimbly loaded it. Of course, don't worry, this time machine will be 100% effective. You won't even feel your deaths because they never happen. Hey, he's not really gonna shoot at the audience. This is a joke, right? Even if I shoot now, kill one of you or all of you, okay, school shooter. Oh, this professor is an American, 100% American. But this time machine that will soon transmit currents to my brain is firmly gripped in my left pocket. How do you even manage to sneak a gun in past this campus security? Don't they have like metal detectors? I can now use this machine to return to right before the shooting. When that happens, no one will have died. In other words, none of this would have been real anyway. And the deaths of those I kill would never be known by anyone and would only exist in my mind. But Professor Leon, even if this machine really works, in that case, doesn't that prove that in this world, wouldn't that prove that any death can be reversed if these specific conditions are met? Time travel theory has been added to the notebook. There's none. Ha ha ha. He laughed softly, but the sound of his laughter, at least in theory, you're right. After all, with infinite time travel and infinite time, you'll probably always find a solution. Don't you think there's a major flaw in this theory? Let's see, time travel theory. There seems to be a theoretical basis for the idea of transporting current consciousness to the past. Simply put, in the depths of the human brain, the past and the present are interconnected, and with precise enough electric current signals, we can compress and transmit our current consciousness onto our past selves. However, this theory itself seems to be entirely nonsense. Professor Leon, I don't understand what you mean. How is a person supposed to fight fate? How do you tell if it's a memory, a dream, a delusion, or an illusion? Once time travel starts, one's brain structure also changes. Leon didn't explain further, but I suddenly realized a nightmarish thought. The memory of traversing different worlds permanently alters the connections between neurons. This state allows us to connect to something other than our own memories, but we have no way to confirm this result or experiment to uncover its effects. He paused mid-sentence as if he had thought of something. He looked in my direction. I must be seeing things, even seeing her now, he muttered, his face twisting in an eerie way. Oh God, let me just end this meaningless and painful dream. My hair stood on end. The moment his hand moved, the auditorium erupted in an ear-piercing scream. Ah! Leon slowly raised his gun. In that brief second, a suffocating blank feeling of fear hit me. Why is he pointing the gun at his own temple? The movement of Leon's fingers, moving as if in slow motion, was now so clear in my eyes. My heart was pounding, and the air around me turned icy cold. The screaming sounded isolated. My whole focus was on the bullet about to be fired from the gun, and the expression on Leon's face was like the smile of someone about to wake from a desperate dream. Is this part of today's display, or is he really going to... The staff rushing towards the stage would never outrun a bullet. Though not as fast as light, a bullet is still fast enough. Exceeding the speed of light would allow time to reverse. Out of nowhere, his thought suddenly popped into my head. But how could a person running, or even a bullet, ever move faster than light? How could such an experiment possibly succeed? But perhaps a person's spirit or will could indeed surpass the speed of light. Even in a situation like this, I was surprisingly calm. As if watching a movie, everything felt incredibly clear and detailed. As my eyes locked onto every detail, I knew very clearly. Whether I wanted to or not, I had to force myself to face this horrifying scene. His left hand, the one that should have been in his pocket, holding the so-called time machine that transmits neural currents. His left hand was completely empty. Wait, he's not really trying to kill himself? Okay, what happened? After the gunshot, the wisp of smoke that rose was quickly dispersed by the wind. I looked up and snowflakes had started falling from the sky at some point. Hendrix was cradling a hunting rifle, sitting down in the snow. You hesitated too much before shooting, Henry. You need to crouch lower and lean forward more. The recoil from a hunting rifle is immense. I did know guns have recoil from reading about it, but I didn't expect it to be this powerful. Hendrix brushed the weeds off his head and stuck his tongue out at me playfully. Faye, did the gunshot scare you? No, I just felt like I heard a similar sound somewhere before. Firing too many shots next to your ear can damage your hearing, so remember to swap sides frequently when shooting. This gun is a bit old, but it's well crafted at least. How about I get you your own hunting rifle when you're old enough, Hendrix? By the way, would you like to give it a try? She might do better than you. Andrew placed his gloved hand on my arm, adjusting my stance. Within this chaotic fusion of delusion, hallucinations, and dreams, right at that moment I gripped the trigger and closed my eyes. Leon's face suddenly appeared in front of me. At least in theory, you're right. After all, with infinite travel and infinite time, you'd probably always find a solution. I'd probably have the same expression as him right now. It wasn't the expression of someone who was about to die, but rather a somber one, as one tries to wake up in a dream, as if relieved. The death cannot be reversed by a time machine. Does it truly exist? My cheek was pressed against the frozen gun, and my finger on the trigger was bending, almost like an unstoppable wind. It's like one of those dreams where you fall off a tall building. The adrenaline fools your brain, waking you up with a burst of sweat and a racing heart. Every time I wake up from the only paradise I can escape from, all I see is this one same ceiling. The same window, the same dusk, the same room. It's like some sort of repeating cycle, the remnants of a forgotten nightmare. I hate the sound of gunshots so much. The edges of the greenish sky outside the window were ablaze with the red dusk, and the whole world seemed to be wrought from some kind of indestructible, everlasting glass. But as magnificent as this sight was, it was nothing but dull and disgusting for me. The computer's lock screen flickered with a bright blue light by the bed. Without even looking, I knew it was March 21 CO22. CO22. What is CO22? What year is that? I don't know when it started, but I was trapped on this day, trapped in this dream that had no beginning and no end. People in dreams only realize everything they just experienced was a dream when they wake up. But if I already know I'm in a dream, when will this dream finally end? This endless dusk continues and continues, as if it's pursuing some forgotten memory. I stared at the door to the dormitory. If I'm trapped in this dull and empty space without escape, then let these wild, colorful delusions and dreams continue forever. That way I still have my best friend, my childhood companion, the perfect senior, going on forever and ever, until the end of the world. Prologue: The Time Travelers. Finish. The next chapter is unlocked now. Okay. Enter the next chapter then. What else am I gonna do besides that? What the hell is this? Command prompt. Begin cognitive neural retrieval process. Why? Do I press? Oh, never mind. CO14. 3 years left until my first travel. Chapter 1. First Encounters. Let go of me. I reached my hands to my neck, trying to find that ghostly sensation from the dream. It covered my mouth, jammed my neck, leaving me unable to struggle. Why do I always have nightmares like this? Do I have paranoid delusions? It's 2 in the morning, just awesome. What the hell is this? The fridge is completely empty. I grab a pile of cash off the counter and stuff it in my bag and wrote down remember to buy food on my notepad. Didn't I write the same thing yesterday? Looks like no breakfast today. I'll buy something to eat at school. The computer continued playing the academic lecture I watched halfway through yesterday. Memory loss can make it hard to remember lists or facts, and memories can seem fragmented or disjointed, even causing huge gaps. Common symptoms include flashbacks, nightmares, intrusive thoughts, panic attacks or anxiety, insomnia, mood changes, and avoidance of trigger locations or situations. If you're struggling with this, please seek support from family, friends, or a professional. After hearing this, any feelings of peace I had dissipated and I slammed the computer shut. You slammed the computer shut. What? You just press... Did you slam the turn off button or something? Like, bruh, you're gonna break the computer, bro. On the table in the living room was a chess set with last night's pieces still poised to continue their battle. I really enjoy chess because it relies on strategy, not chance. Such simple rules can lead to a variety of plays. A game where you need to consider advantages and disadvantages before each move. It's truly marvelous. Maybe I should start a chess club at school, but that might involve too much unnecessary socializing. It was already December, yet this night was surprisingly warm. Apart from the howling wind, everything was serene. The garden outside was overgrown with weeds and the trees looked bare, appearing like cracks reaching into the sky under the moonlight. Doo doo doo. The home phone was only used for contact with my parents since I didn't have many friends. Occasionally, Hendrix would also call, but at this hour it could only be them. The phone rang for a while before falling silent. I let out a sigh of relief, followed by a voicemail message. Our trip is being extended, so we won't be home for Christmas. If you're still spending Christmas with the green children, be mindful of your words and actions so you don't cause them any trouble. I expect the house to be kept tidy until we return and for you to behave yourself. The line rang with a busy signal. How many messages have I missed on nights like this? Or were these messages that important to begin with? They always sounded the same anyways. What was the point? Looking around, all the living room furniture was covered in white sheets to protect from dust, except for a small section of the dining table and a chair I used for eating. It was clean and empty and I was alone. Good. Oh, it's so bright. When did I fall asleep? Trying to stop the constant knocking, I got from my seat and headed for the door. Coming right up. Open the door. Who's that? I forgot who this is. Who is this? Ah, that blinding smile. Oh, right, it's Hendrix. You look like you've been punched, Faye. Did you have another nightmare last night? Good morning to you too, Hendrix. Did I upset you? How about this as an apology? He leaned on the doorframe with a smile and waved the paperback in front of my face. Mom asked me to bring it. You haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Are these crumpets? What else could they be? They're your favorite. Alright, I'll wait for you downstairs. Let's eat them together later. The boy standing in front of me was Hendrix Green. Ah, okay, Hendrix Green. Green with green eyes. Okay, I see now. My childhood friend. We are now in the same high school. Although my parents were successful business people, me and Hendrix grew up in very different environments. There was a time when I was excited to live alone in such a big house. Now it feels more like house sitting for my parents than actually living here. Since I didn't want to keep Hendrix waiting too long, I quickly went upstairs and changed clothes. The garden was overgrown with weeds because it had been neglected. Faye, have you considered hiring a gardener or a butler? If I didn't come to get you, would you have gone to school without eating breakfast again? I have food at home. As soon as the words left my mouth, I kinda regretted them. He's probably already seen the inside of my fridge when I let him in to wait. It has everything I need, and I'm not a child anymore. Look, the ivy on your walls has grown so much, I could climb right up to your window. Isn't that just what you wanted? You can recreate Romeo's climb. But the lark's singing now, Faye. That nightingale song is over, hey. But this is much easier to climb than the school scaffolding. And now that I look closer, even though the garden is overgrown, it has a certain charm. It feels perfect for all sorts of dramatic conflicting plots. I glanced at the ivy, which hadn't been trimmed in years and probably had deep roots, so Hendrix likely wouldn't fall halfway up. I remember us climbing trees together when we were kids. So you do remember. But if I ever did climb up that ivy, I might just scare you. You know, like if in the dead of night a shadowy figure appears at your window. Hendrix pitifully pointed at his own nose. It would be a disaster if you got so scared you kicked me down. Then I might never be able to act on stage again for the rest of my life. Or worse, I might have to spend it in a wheelchair. Huh? Faye, I'm just kidding. Don't walk storm off so suddenly. Faye, good morning. Do you still like your little cookies? Who's Maria? Who the hell is Maria? Mrs. Maria, dressed in a casual suit as always, turned around and greeted me with a beaming smile. I really like Maria mainly because she didn't mind us eating in the car, and she didn't mind the cookie crumbs falling into the crevices of those expensive-looking leather seats. Oh shit, that car is gonna get insects, bro. No way, man. They're great, thank you, Miss Green. Oh, I told you to call me Maria. If you like them, we have plenty more at home. Mom, you clearly told me this morning that this was the last pack, so I had to bring it to Faye. Henry, no girl likes a boy without self-control who doesn't even bother to dress up in the morning. Eh? Whenever you see those cookies, you can't stop eating them. What if you gain weight? Wouldn't that be a waste of the good genes you've inherited from your loving parents? Ah, but Faye, don't you think it's too scary for a little girl to live in an environment like this all day? Maria gestured with her chin at my long-abandoned garden and the unkempt driveway and lawn. I heard recently that if you're 14, you can hire a gardener yourself without needing your parents' permission. I just don't like having outsiders here, that's all. Well, if you ever need the contact information for a gardener or anything else, just let me know. After all, your parents are always away from home, so it's better to have someone look after you. Alright kids, we got here a bit early today, so enjoy your last day of school before winter break. And Hendrix, why don't you take Faye back to the manor after class? In the past, I would spend every Christmas with the Hendrix family, but only on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. This year's Christmas will be different, and I think we should prepare properly. Got it, Mom? I'll complete the mission and bring Faye home with me. Maria smiled and nodded at us, then drove off. Why do you sound like you're my dad? Wait, what? Why do you sound like your dad? You're my dad? Okay, a little spelling error, but no worries. I don't care. There's no reason, it's just the fact that I take care of you. You're only a year or two older than me, so I should take care of you when there are no adults around. In fact, for a boy his age, Hendrix seems a little too attached to me. If he didn't have his own school, work, club activities, and socializing to do, I think he'd probably cling to me every day, dragging me to read some strange novel he had written or something. Fuck, I clicked wrong. Faye, you're not listening to me. You're not even listening to me, are you? Ah, Hendrix, I wasn't. I suddenly felt a pang of guilt for my previous thoughts. I understand. Girls like you are going through puberty. I won't lecture you anymore. No, I actually don't mind. It's okay for you to lecture me sometimes. As I was about to put my hand on Hendrix's shoulder, he suddenly grabbed my wrist. Gotcha! With lightning-quick hands, Hendrix must. I don't think that word exists in the dictionary. Must up my hair. See you after school then. Hendrix! Fixing your hair so early? That's unlike you. You smell great today. Did you bring something delicious? Finally, someone normal has arrived. This is Lisa, my best friend. Wow, so delicious. Mrs. Maria's classic recipe. I can never get enough. Huh? Why do you look so angry? Did Hendrix bother you again this morning? I feel like he's always been like that. It's just that he's been doing it more frequently lately. Lisa, are all boys this childish? Don't talk with your mouth full. Okay, Mom, got it. But Hendrix doesn't seem that childish, does he? He seems pretty normal to me. Of course, any other student would have the same opinion as Lisa. Hendrix hides his two sides well. Lisa took another cookie from my paper bag. But if you don't like him doing that, you should talk to him about it. I get the feeling Hendrix just cares about you in his own way. Okay, I don't actually resent him. If there was only one person in the world I didn't resent, it would probably be Hendrix. Then why are you angry? I think it's interesting to see the different sides of the people around us. Look, you're always so serious. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen you smile before. I'm so curious, what do you look like when you smile? No, don't pull my face like that, Lisa. The morning's classes pass quickly. Okay. I'm saving here. And I'm stopping here. We'll continue this next part in the next video. Bye-bye.